I'll call to order the City of Douglasville City Council Legislative Work Session for tonight, which is Thursday, September the 28th, 2023. Our invocation will be done by Pastor J.P. of Kingdom Builders Ministry, and after that, we'll have our Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Mayor Pro Tem, City Council Member Terry Miller. Please stand for the invocation.
Good evening. The Bible declares, according to Proverbs 16:3, commit your works to the Lord and plans will be established. Let us pray. Father, we thank you right now, God, for this meeting tonight. God, as we begin to discuss business concerning this community, God, we ask you, God, that you will show yourself strong in this community right now, God. God, let whatever plans that we have, God, let us submit them to you, God, and let it work according to the will that you have designed and orchestrated for this community. God, we ask you, God, that you will give the people that is voting on this and discussing in the wisdom right now, God, to know the direction in which you would have us to go in these last and evil days, God, that you may get the glory and the honor out of everything that we say and we do. In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flags of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and thank you, Pastor, for the invocation. It was wonderful. I'd like to welcome you to the Douglasville City Council Legislative Work Session. My name is Rochelle Robinson. I'm Mayor of the City of Douglasville. This is a work session where agenda items are presented for discussion only, and no official action will be taken tonight. Official action will be taken on these items discussed tonight on next Monday at 6 p.m. If the business you are here for is not listed as an agenda item, there will be ample time under the agenda item comments from citizens and delegates for you to discuss your business. There are just a few protocol issues I'd like to go over for the evening, and then we can get into the body of the meeting. I ask that you would please keep your comments and presentations on a professional level, dealing with the facts that are important for this governing body to make our decisions. We will not accept comments that are considered by the chair to be of a personal attack on any individual or group of individuals. If you receive a warning from the chair and you deviate from that requirement the second time, we will turn your microphone off so you won't continue to speak. But we know we're going to treat people how we want to be treated and be kind. So only one person at a time speaking. Please do not applaud or react to speakers or speak from the audience, cheer, or carry on a conversation when you're at the microphone. Just make and direct all of your comments to the chairperson, and then you can proceed with your concerns or comments. I remind you that we're only required to accept public comments during the public hearing session. Now, this is how the protocol or the way the agenda will flow tonight and how the meeting will go. If you have a cell phone or electronic device, before I start, I ask you to please power those off or put them in silent mode so they won't be disruptive during the meeting. The agenda items will be handled in the following manner. The committee chairperson will read his or her agenda item, then that person representing that agenda item or applicant will make his or her presentation. Myself and council members will possibly ask questions to help us to understand better and be able to make our decision on next Monday. After that, the committee chairperson will ask for comments or statements from the audience. There is a maximum of 20 minutes for those in favor of the item and 20 minutes for those in opposition, and each person has 5 minutes to speak. If you desire to speak, there are cards that are outside on the desk. They're blue cards, and they're called speaker sign-in cards. We ask that you would please put your information on those cards and hand those cards or that card when you come to the podium to my city clerk, our city clerk, Ms. Vicki Acker, to my right. Prior to coming to the podium, after you hand your card to our city clerk, you come to the podium and give us your name and address for the record, and then you have 5 minutes to talk to us about anything germane to the city of Douglasville. This is not a question and answer format or debate. We're just here to hear the information, deliberate, and make our decisions next week. Or we will direct you to staff if you have immediate concern that needs attention from the staff. Please address all your comments to the chair, And if you have any printed material, we ask that you would please give that to our city clerk. She will make copies for you and disseminate the information to myself and council members. That's a lot of talking, but hopefully we're all on the same page and we understand how the meeting will flow this evening. And we handle the meetings based on committees, and the committee chairperson or co-chair or vice chair will read the information and handle that committee. If you would like to have a printed work session agenda, they're outside on the desk, or you can follow us on the screen. Now we'll move on. After we've done the announcements and presentations, our first committee is Economic Development Committee, and that's chaired by Mayor Pro Tem City Council Member Terry Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business under the Economic Development Committee at this time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. We'll move on to Finance Committee, and the co-chair or the vice chair is Councilmember Chris Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have one item tonight.
Yes, sir.
Item A is to authorize the mayor to sign an agreement with Caliber One Construction, Inc. for construction services for the City of Douglasville Recycling Center. And Mr. Roberts will head this group up. Thank you, Mr. Roberts.
I'll start them off. Greg Roberts, Director of the Public Services Department for the City of Douglasville. And I have with me Steve Moreau of CPS and Jalen Johnson of CPS. For those that are listening in that might not know, the city is doing a recycling facility at our Cedar Mountain Road Public Works property. That's located at 8145 Cedar Mountain Road. Just barely north of where Chicago Avenue turns into Cedar Mountain Road. I'll be available for any questions that you might have, but I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Moreau, and he'll get us rolling in the right direction.
Thanks, Greg. Mayor, Council, Steve Morrow, 2005 Goldenrod Road, Roswell, Georgia. It's great to see everybody again. While we're kind of wrapping up the final details over at the amphitheater, the city of Douglasville continues to push forward and has offered us the opportunity, and we're very appreciative to work with you on the next project for the recycling center. Really, our presentation today is to kind of just give you a quick debrief on the procurement process that we've gone through thus far. This particular project is going to be a little bit different in the sense that it's not a low bid contract. We're going to be doing construction manager at risk, which allows the contractor to actually participate in the design process and to help us to be able to put the most efficient design and construction process forward. So we'll go through a series of budgeting processes, and then that contractor will actually have to go and bid all of the scopes of work, and they'll bring all of that in and help and allow us to be able to work with them to select the appropriate subcontractors to actually execute the work. So they're construction management services, which is a little different than sort of general contractor services. And it's a new, not new, but a different method of sort of executing construction. So tonight we're going to do a quick presentation to give you an overview of the process that we've gone through, and then obviously make a recommendation at the end for you all to consider. I do want to introduce with me, Greg had mentioned Mr. Jalen Johnson, my colleague at CPS. He's going to run you through the presentation. For those that are football fans, he's a former Georgia Tech football player and has been with CPS for the last, I thought about whether or not that was a good idea or not to bring that up because I knew.
Councilman Adams isn't here, he would be saying, "Go Dogs."
So we've got Go Dogs, and I'll say Roll Tide in case there's any
Bumblebee.
of those out there. But I think that covers just about all of them. But Jalen's going to run through the presentation with you, and then obviously we're here to answer any questions there might be at the end.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think do you all have a copy of the presentation, or can you see it?
We do.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Well, good evening, Mayor and Council. It's an honor to be here. I'm excited. I know Steve has been familiar with the process here, and I'm kind of new to the project team, so I'm excited to bring another successful project to the city of Douglasville. So getting into we're here to discuss the construction manager at risk contract for the recycling center. And we just kind of wanted to outline the RFQ process that we went through. So starting with the RFQ process, that RFQ process was published on July 3rd of 2023 through the city's procurement system. And this RFQ requested from proposers just the company experience qualifications just to prove that they can execute a project like the one we have here in Douglasville. We also included information on project team overview, so this is valuable just to kind of get an idea of who the project team is and kind of relate and get their background experience on just reviewing the rest of reviewing the background for this project. And then one thing we also, we required a site visit. So that site visit was, occurred on July 25th of 2023. 6 firms were present for that site visit, and this just kind of gives the contractor to take a look at the site, look at the existing conditions, and familiarize themselves with the project. So we found that valuable to include in the RFQ process. So a little less than a month after the site visit, on August 22nd, the proposals were that was the deadline for the proposals, and we ultimately received 3 proposals, and all proposals were evaluated and determined to be qualified to complete the work. And to help us evaluate the proposals, city staff members, we had 5 city staff members that were assembled to evaluate these proposals. I'd like to shout them out: Chelsea Jackson, Deputy City Manager; Marcus Thompson, City Engineer; Melissa Dickinson, Assistant Director of Public Services; Heather Campbell, Accounting Manager; and Greg Roberts, Director of Public Services. So thank you to you guys for all that you did for this evaluation. So after they reviewed all of the proposals, it was determined by the panel to shortlist 2 of the 3 firms, Caliber One and Albion. So then we decided to interview. So with that short list, we moved forward with the interviews. Those occurred on September 15th, 2023. And the committee unanimously selected Caliber One as the best firm for this project. So as part of the interview process, we also included a fee sheet. So this gave us an idea of the pre-established percentages for the general conditions and the profit for the job. So with all this considered, we ultimately came to the decision to recommend to you guys to award the construction manager at-risk contract to Caliber One. And that's all I have. We'll open it up for any questions.
Okay.
Thank you. Madam Mayor, we'll start with you if you have any, and then anybody else chime in.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Vice Chair. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. You did a great job. The Yellow Jacks will be proud. I have to tell Dr. Kofi Smith, good friend of mine. You know Dr. Kofi?
I have. I've met him a few times.
Yes, so I know he teaches there now. He's like the professor of the year or something, and he played football for Georgia Tech. So,
Yeah.
But it's nice to meet you. I do have a couple of questions. So you said you had 6 companies that came out, 3 were evaluated with the team, and you all have chosen Caliber One. It was unanimous decision. Mr. Roberts, of course, our director, and staff, and yourselves. Were they connected with Smyrna? Or did they build Smyrna? Because that's the format, and the recycling center that the council and myself went to go visit was the recycling center in Smyrna, Georgia.
So I don't think any of them in their proposals had anything to
Okay.
do with the actual construction of the one there, but they have, part of their proposals had to include past performance on similar projects.
Okay.
But the Smyrna one particularly, I'd have to go back, but I don't think either one of the ones that we actually interviewed participated in that
In that
particular
one.
project. But
Okay.
the design team very clearly knows that that's the facility that you all have seen and how it's set up. And so doing our best as we go through the design process, we'll lay the facility out and try to mimic that one as best we can. And the
Okay.
contractor will participate in that process to make sure that we do it as efficiently as we can.
Yes, sir, because that was a great experience. It seemed to work very well, and the citizens were happy with it. And Mr. Roberts was kind enough to take us there and help us to tour that area. So that's all I had, Mr. Vice Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Anyone else have any questions? No. Just one quick question, the site. Do you foresee, I know it's hard to tell, but rock is always a problem in Douglasville and
know.
Douglas County.
It's a great question, only because Jalen and I have we just had this conversation, and we're talking to the engineer, and we're getting ready to hire or do the geotech or soil analysis. We've got to go through that process and be able to get some samples and be able to determine if we have that problem or if it exists in that particular area. I don't know if anything's been done up to this point.
No,
to be
and
able
the
to-
good thing is, we're not going super deep on this site for
Yeah.
this. In fact, there's a lot of fill material in some lower areas, so I do not anticipate that, other than as related to sewer connection. There could be some, but
Because of the distance that we have to
the
travel.
distance, but
Yeah.
we're fairly confident that will not be much of an issue either.
But how about we agree to do the geotech analysis, and if we find anything that looks a little like it might be trouble, we'll come back and obviously let you know that.
Anybody else? Steve, I know you must feel really confident about Caliber One throwing out that roll tide in a meeting like this with Mark. Of course, you may have known that Mark wasn't going to be here, so you probably get away with that. But anyway, thank you for your presentation. Appreciate you
Thank
guys.
you.
And Greg, you have anything else to add before we move
I
on?
don't think so, unless there are questions, and of course, if you think of questions later, just reach out to me.
Okay, all right. Madam Mayor, I talked with Councilman Adams, and he was okay with consent agenda for this item, if that's all right with the council. All right,
Yes, sir.
thank you.
I don't see any
So we'll
Opposition
place
to
this
that.
item on the consent agenda for Monday. Madam Mayor, that's all I had in finance.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vice Chairman, and thank you again for the presentation. It's nice to meet you all, and thank you, Mr. Roberts, Director Roberts. We'll move on then to the next committee, which is Housing and Community Affairs Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Dr. LaShawn Burdanley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business tonight under Housing and Community Affairs.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Legislative and Intergovernmental Committee, chaired by Councilmember Samuel Davis.
No business tonight, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Councilman Davis. Personnel and Organization Committee, chaired by Councilmember Chris Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have several items tonight. Item A, adopt an ordinance effective September 6, 2023, to amend and restate the retirement plan for the employees of the city of Douglasville, Georgia. And Ms. Austin Bing will take this one.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. Tia Austin Bing,
Good evening.
6695 Church Street, Human Resources Department. This first item before you is a recommendation to amend our defined benefit pension plan for retirement. If you will see your memo attached, I will outline the summary of these amendments. Changes, if approved, would be effective September the 6th, 2023. The amendments to this plan establishes the Rule 75 alternative to normal retirement for eligible regular employees. And the amendments to this plan will also establish the Rule 70 alternative normal retirement benefit plan for police officers. The Rule 75 for regular employees does have a minimum age of 55, and the rule for police officers has a minimum age of 50. The annual cost difference for this amendment would be $135,983, and that's our annual increase. Also want to point out that regular employees that were hired before October 2006, they still have the option of the Rule 75, but there is no minimum age requirement for those employees. So that will remain in place. And then just also to make, to clarify what normal retirement is in our benefit plan, and that is age 65 with a minimum of 5 years of service. So anyone that does not meet these alternative requirements will still be eligible at the age 65 with 5 years of service. And I'm happy to take any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Austin Bing. Anybody? Madam Mayor? No? And this also, as we talked about earlier, Ms. Austin Bing is a good recruitment for and retaining good employees.
Yes, for potential employees, and also to retain our current employees. The good thing about our benefit plan is for anyone that's coming in to the city or already is here at the city with us that has worked in another GMA city, that time is ported over. So, so this will enhance the options for our employees.
That's good.
That had Rule 80, so had to be a little old person before you can retire there. I'm not sure where that was. Anything else, Ms. Austin Bing, on this item?
No, sir, unless you have any questions.
If there's no questions, This is an item I'd like to place on the consent agenda. Mr. Adams didn't object. Is
I
that
see
all right?
nods saying yes.
Okay, thank you. Item B, adopt a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign contracts with, 1, the Beacon Group LLC, 2, Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthcare Plan of Georgia, Inc., 3, Humana, Inc., 4, Standard Insurance Company, and 5, Medical Cost Containment Services, Inc., for city-sponsored employee insurance benefits for 2024, and stating the anticipated city contribution for each such employee benefit. And Ms. Austin Bing will handle this one also.
Thank you, sir. As Ms. Hampton mentioned in our 5 o'clock meeting, we are ready and prepared for open enrollment for 2024 health benefits. We presented to you, and this is a summary of changes that we are recommending for 2024. Our insurance plan begins January 1, 2024. We are recommending a self-funded plan versus us being formerly fully insured. For our medical insurance, we are recommending Aetna with 2 plan options, a core plan and a buy-up plan. For dental insurance, we are recommending moving to standard, as well as life insurance, moving to standard. Flexible spending account, we are recommending medical cost containment services, and then adding 2 additional voluntary benefits, pet insurance with MetLife and long-term care insurance with LTCI Life Secure. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take those, but again, we are ready to move full speed ahead with open enrollment within the next 2 weeks.
Okay, and yes, Madam Mayor.
I did have a quick question, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Ms. Austin Bing. I know Councilmember Miller N. asked this at our 5 o'clock committee meeting, but I'm not sure if I heard the answer or not. So for the pet insurance, is it like the flex spending? Do you pay in advance and then you get it back, or you just, like if I put Oreo the cat on my pet insurance, I'm paying $25 a month or whatever the fee is for cats, and you still get like we get, they have their annual checkup, they can do all that stuff.
So it will be payroll deducted, obviously, for our employees, and then whatever premium that they choose, they will be reimbursed from those premiums. So it's sort of like health insurance, and where it's a deductible, you meet that deductible, and then you're reimbursed. We will be providing to you a list of everything that is covered. Some of the things that I can mention would be like unexpected accidents for pets, illnesses, medications, hospital exams, things of that nature. But I think the specific question was about the annual visit, so we will get that information for you.
And then the veterinarians, do they have, like, is it Dr. K, or do they have all the ones that you can take your pets to?
Yeah, so from my experience, and I had it before, reaching out to who you prefer to your pets to be seen by, making sure ahead of time that they take the coverage from MetLife. So
Okay.
definitely doing a little legwork on that end, but most veterinarians do, from my experience.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Ms. Austin Bing, just real quick, can you just kind of go over the self-funding as opposed to the way we did it, the cost differential, or overall cost to the city and
Yes,
difference?
if I may ask Mr. Shaw to come up and give us the exact difference in our premiums, if he doesn't mind. I want to make sure it's correctly stated.
I just want the citizens to understand how we're doing things as a city and trying to save money.
Good evening, again. Just 1 second. So you're asking in regards to annual spend?
Yeah, just, what's the difference?
Certainly. So currently, the annual spend on the medical insurance, both with city contributions as well as employee contributions, is $3.1 million. In the self-funded arrangement, there's an expected total cost of $2.87 million, so some 7.5% savings, with a maximum liability of just north of $3 million, but about 1.25% below the current spend.
Okay. Yeah, that's the information I wanted to hear again. I know we heard it earlier, but I just wanted our citizens to know that everything we do, we have our employees' well-being in mind, and also we're spending their money wisely also.
Correct. So
Any
from a
other-
projection
go ahead, Mr.
I'm
Shaw.
sorry. So from a projection standpoint, there's, significant savings, but even in a worst-case scenario, there's still minimal savings compared to today, and that's also not factoring in your typical annual rate increase, which would obviously broaden that difference.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that information. Anybody have anything else? Yes, Ms. Hampton.
Mr. Shaw, can you explain the flex spending comparison again? Because I think that the question is really being asked toward, is it like a preloaded flex spending account? I think you need to explain the reimbursed benefit. Because yes, you can get
the pet
reimbursed
insurance.
on flex spending, but the difference between how that's going to work with the pet insurance, that's really the question being asked.
Yes, so if I may, on flex spending, you're actually making a contribution and saving the tax dollars. Obviously, the city saves the matching FICA tax of funds that go into that account, that you have a certain number of months, typically the plan year, to use those dollars on qualified expenses. With the pet insurance, as Ms. Austin Bing referenced, if you were to go in for unexpected emergency for one of your covered pets, for simple math, let's just say that qualified for up to $1,000 reimbursed. Well, if that visit were $1,200 for that pet to be seen and treated, MetLife would in fact reimburse you up to the $1,000 for that service.
So it's
there'll
not
actually be
preloaded.
a schedule of services that are covered and a dollar amount associated with it.
So it is not preloaded.
It is not preloaded, no, ma'am.
Thank you.
And just to state the obvious, but, the city contributes a portion of the employee's health insurance, and then the employees pay a percentage. That does not include pet insurance.
Correct.
So I don't want the folks listening in to think that the city is paying for pet insurance.
sir.
That's something extra that the employee has available to them if they want to take it up.
Yeah. To your point, the city makes contributions to medical insurance, dental insurance, life insurance, and the disability. The other lines of coverage, vision insurance, the pet insurance, also the long-term care, and even some of these supplemental AFLAC products are strictly voluntary. They are just provided on the platform of benefits offered to the employees. So.
I just wanted to clarify that, just in case anybody misunderstood. Any other questions for Mr. Shaw or Ms. Austin Bing? I'm going to ask if we can place this on the consent agenda.
Looks like yes.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw, appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you all.
You're welcome.
All right, move on to C here. Adopt a resolution to suspend the employee tuition and assistance program. And we have Ms. Austin Bing in the building. She will handle this one also.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, this item before you, Mayor and Council, the purpose of this request is for us to take a comprehensive look at our tuition policy terms, conditions, and eligibility. When we come back before you on this policy, we will convey what those revisions are and clarify the standards for improved communication. So we ask that you temporarily suspend this policy to allow us time to make the necessary revisions. This suspension, if approved, will not affect any application for tuition assistance that has already been approved. So it will be a temporary suspension until we can come back before you.
So it won't affect anybody that's already enrolled, or will it?
That has already been approved for tuition
Okay.
assistance currently, as of the date of this resolution. Yes.
Okay. Yes, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Now, I have two in college, so I know all of what's going on from way back in the day for myself. But so we're suspending the tuition reimbursement program until we have better communication, as you said, to determine what the criteria is.
Yes.
So they're not going to be affected for fall semester, but what about spring? You have to kind of register now, or before the next month or so is up for spring semester.
So
Is it
we-
going to affect those?
We anticipate to have this policy back before you. We don't
Okay.
anticipate it belaboring. We just want to clarify any gray areas that may, from someone interpreting the policy, that we can clarify that.
Okay, because it's about 8 weeks left, I guess, in this semester, and usually at about a month out, you have to start planning again. So
Yes,
we
ma'am.
have a short window to try to get it together. All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions or comments? I'd like to place this on the consent agenda also for Monday.
Looks good.
All right. Item D, don't go anywhere, Ms. Austin Bing. Adopt a resolution providing for one-time special holiday season payments to City of Douglasville employees. Ms. Austin Bing.
Yes, sir. This is our annual resolution before you that would provide for holiday payments for our city employees. Within the resolution explains the payment amounts for eligible employees full-time. As of December 1st of this year would be $1,000. Part-time employees that have employed at least 6 months as of December 1st, $500. And full and part-time employees that have been with us for less than 6 months as of December 1st would receive $250. And then our temporary and seasonal employees would receive $100 for the holiday bonus. Everyone will receive the $50 gift certificate from the local supermarket. And also to mention that these funds have been budgeted in our budget, so they are, we have placed them within the 2023-2024 budget. So,
And you may have said this and I missed it, but this is subject to the taxes and everything comes out of this, or is this?
it's trued up to, these are the flat dollar amounts that it would be.
Okay, thank you. Anybody, any questions or comments? Okay, I'd like to place this on the consent agenda for Monday also.
Looks good. You can do it.
Ms. Austin Bing, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, and Director Bing, and Mr. Shaw as well. We'll move on then to the next committee, which is Planning and Development Committee. The Vice Chair is Councilmember Dr. Burr Danley.
Okay, thank you, Madam Mayor. We have 2 items tonight under Planning and Development. The first item is consider a request for plat approval for purpose of adopting tributary Phase 2 C2A for 27.38 acres at Ancoat Street in Land Lot 154, 155, 162, and 163, District 1, Section 5, partial 01630150025 and 01550150560. Application by Gaskin and LeCroix, care of Michael Charleston. Mr. Gordon.
Good evening, everyone, Mayor and Council. I'm James Gordon, 6701 Church Street, Engineering Department. This plat is actually a replat. It was approved several months ago, but some typos were found in it, and also a drainage structure had to be revised before we go into new construction of the houses. So again, this is actually a replat, and it caught a few typos by the applicant.
Okay. Do we have any questions?
I do have a question.
Yes,
Madam
Madam
Vice
Mayor.
Chair. Thank you so much, Mr. Gordon. We appreciate that, and we apologize for typos. That's unacceptable.
Yeah.
But do we, you said drainage, so is WSA signed off on it?
Yes, the comment was brought by WSA. They originally had just a closed-off manhole, and WSA decided that manhole should actually be an inlet to take in water. So
Okay.
they changed the drawing.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. That's all I have.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Are there any other questions? Yes? No? Yes, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is in the back, I'm trying to place where this is in the back end of tributary. How far off of the, I guess you would know best.
Yes, it's the back end.
Backside of the village section of Tributary.
Section, okay. I feel like the designers and planners for Tributary ought to give an extension course to the rest of the developers in the city on how to properly lay out a community and a village, because it's been from the very start, it's been an excellent
Yeah.
design, an excellent urbanistic development. So, I mean, the way they've integrated the sidewalks and the alleyways and the streets, so that you really do feel like you live
And
in a community there.
landscaping.
And like I said, we should make them give an extension course to the rest of the developers, teach them how it's done the right way. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I will pass that along to them.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jordan. So this item, the typos and everything will be corrected prior to Monday before we move forward, correct?
That's correct.
All right. Okay, let me move on to the second item. Consider a request for plat approval for the purpose of reconfiguring the property lines between the funeral home located at 8640 Rose Avenue, partial 0016015A009, and the house located at 8710 Rose Avenue, partial 01920250026. Application by Richard L. Musgrove, Senior of Foothills Land Surveying, LLC. Mr. Gordon.
Good evening again. I'm James Gordon, 6701 Church Street. And this plat changes, it adds a small property line between the existing funeral home property, all the pretty much finished off property, and this is an existing unoccupied small home with a outside garage that just happens to be on that property. So they just isolated off that one piece of land, and then all the rest of the property on the funeral home property stays the same.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Jordan. Do we have any questions in regards to this item? Madam Mayor?
I do. Thank you, Madam Vice
Yes,
Chair.
ma'am.
I mean, Madam Chairman. Is this the Rose Haven?
Yes, this is Rose Haven Funeral Home
Okay.
on Rose Avenue.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. So if it would be the pleasure of the mayor and council, I would like to place this on the consent agenda for Monday. That's pleasurable.
Thumbs up.
All right, thank you. No other items under planning and development. Thank you, Mr. Jordan.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Madam Vice Chair. We'll move on then to the next committee, which is item number 11, is Public Improvement and Beautification Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Nicole Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business this evening for Public Improvement and Beautification.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. Public Relations Committee, chaired by Councilmember Howard Estes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The Public Relations Committee has no business this evening.
Thank you, sir. Public Safety Committee, chaired by Councilmember Sam Davis.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I have a group of them tonight.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to start with item A. Hold a public hearing to consider application for the alcoholic beverage license for the retail package sale of wine and malt beverage at the following establishment. Proposed licensing, Supermercado and Smoke Shop, INC, location 6457 Church Street. Proposed agent outlet manager, Mohammed Shabri. The required fees have been paid into the finance department. Mr. Mohammed, please come
Hello,
down
good
and
evening,
state your
sir.
name, address for our record, please.
Yes. 6457 Church Street, Supermercado, Smoke and Shop.
And are you the manager, the owner, or?
Owner and manager.
Okay, owner and manager, and you want to have malt beverage with liquor, wine?
Yes,
Okay. And how many employees you have?
2.
And how do you go about training your employees?
We have a scan system, so we had to train the scanning system.
Okay, and do you have food
Yes,
in your establishment?
not food, but we have some grocery, not food.
Oh, you have grocery, this
Yeah.
is a grocery store?
Yeah, just like grocery.
Okay, this is a store, okay, supermarket. Okay, start with Madam Mayor.
Is this your welcome this evening?
Good one.
You don't have to be nervous. It's good. We're not going to bite you. Do you have any businesses? Do you have any experience in this type of business?
No, I have experience in different counties, but this is the second one
first
we
one.
have here.
Oh, the second one in Douglas
The
County.
second one, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So how long have you been doing this type of work?
15, 20 years
Okay.
in
Very
DeKalb
good.
County, Fulton County up there.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
And so in Douglasville, is it in the county or the city?
a city.
It's in the city. I just wanted to ask the police department, Deputy Chief, we have any concerns or issues in the
No, Madam
past? Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank-
for coming forward. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Mr. Chairman. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Councilman Watts?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is this,
We have another council member want to ask some questions.
And then we have to do
Well-
a public hearing, sir.
yeah, I was just going to ask, is this a renewal or a first time?
The first time.
First time? Okay.
For this location.
For this location. Has anybody asked yet about training of employees or?
Yep, Councilman Davis, he said they have a
Yes.
machine where they
Okay.
check the IDs.
I missed that, I'm sorry. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, that's all I had.
Okay, if no other council member have any questions, and right now we're gonna hold a public hearing. And we have 5 minutes for those who speak against the application, and 5 minutes for those who speak for your application. At this time, the floor is open, and for those who want to come down and speak. Okay, 5 minutes for those who want to speak for. Since I see no takers, I close the public hearing and come back on Monday.
Thank
And give you, yes, okay?
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you. Moving right along, hold a public hearing to consider application for the alcoholic beverage license on the on-premise sale and consumption of wine and malt beverage at the following establishment. Proposed license, Maxi Flavors LLC, DBA South of Philly, location 8493 Hospital Drive, Unit 13, proposed agent outlet manager Kiwi Maxwell. The required fees have been paid into the finance department. Ms. Maxey, Mr. Maxey.
Good
yes,
evening,
sir.
everyone.
Good
My name is
evening.
Kevin Maxey, owner-operator of 8493 Hospital Drive, south of Philly, restaurant and food truck.
Mhm.
And your address?
8493 Hospital Drive, number 13.
Okay, and your application for beer and wine?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and do you have food at your establishment?
Yes, we do. We have sandwiches, salads, an array of different food products available right now as we speak.
Okay, are you familiar with the ratio?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And how do you go about training your employees?
Well, we're going to have a training program I only have like 4 employees at this time. I have over 20 years of experience in restaurant, bar, and nightclub, restaurant, bar, and nightclub experience. I'm going to be the manager to do the training, to go over all of the processes of taking identification and reviewing for any person over 21.
What is your operations?
Right now, our operations are from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday.
And weekends? Oh, you said through Saturday?
Yes, sir. We're closed on Sunday and Monday right now.
Okay. Before I open up public hearing, I want to hear from the mayor and council. If they have any questions? Madam Mayor?
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. So are you located in the Kroger Shopping Plaza?
Yes, we're right next door to UPS store.
Yes, sir. I've seen you before going to the beauty store. So do we have any concerns, Deputy Chief? I know this establishment has been here.
No, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman Watts?
Nothing for me, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, you good? Okay, at this time, sir, we're going to open up the floor for a public hearing. And each candidate got 5 minutes to speak against and 5 minutes for those who want to speak for this application. And right now, open up the public hearing for those who come on down. For our guests. State your name and address for the record, please.
Richard Siegel, 9905 Ashford Greenway. I'm in favor of this application, but I just want a little bit of clarification whether it covers the restaurant only or if it's also for the food truck.
Good point.
This particular application is just for the restaurant only. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the restaurant only. Okay, this is for the restaurant only, and I'm gonna close the public hearing, and since I have no takers, and come back on Monday, and we'll give you answer, okay?
Yes, sir. Thanks for your time.
Yes, sir, thank you. Okay, moving to item C, hold a public hearing to consider the application for the alcoholic beverage license retail package sale of wine and malt beverage and spirit liquor at the following establishment. Proposed licensing, Mr. LLC, DBA Highway 92 Liquor Store, location 5383 Highway 92 Fathom Road, Suite 5385. Proposed agent outlet manager, Irene Mystery. The required fees have been paid into the finance department. Mr. Mystery, come on down and,
Here, Joe Fowler, Post Office Box 49. I'm his lawyer, got to know him. This is his first opportunity to appear before the city council. I said, don't worry, nobody's going to attack or be violent.
That's right.
This is a package store that's opening up on Highway 92. He's been in this business for a long time, and he can answer any and every question you may have. So I'm turning it over to you. Identify your name and address, please.
My name is Hayden Mystery, and address is 5383 Highway 92, Suite 5385.
is this your first experience with the, this is a liquor store, right?
Yes, sir.
And this your first experience?
Oh, no, have a 9-year experience in a liquor store.
Okay, and I know exactly where it's located over there, and how many parking, is got adequate parking?
Yeah, they're like, yeah, they have parking.
Mr. Fowler, this is location over Van Zant, over in the old Van Zant area, right?
Yes, it's in that general location. It's a center that's not doing quite well. Spaces are available, and he's going to occupy that.
And you want to put a liquor store in there?
Yes, sir.
You want to put a liquor store in there?
Yes, sir.
Have you spoken with any of the community about your plans?
He hasn't polled anyone in the neighborhood. No, sir.
Okay, Madam Mayor.
I do have a question. My tablet is still refreshing. So I have a question about, so it's right off of Highway, I mean, when you cross I-20, it's on the left-hand side in that plaza before you get to the Quick Trip?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I just wanted to make certain of the location. And you said you do have experience, you and Mr. Fowler, Attorney Fowler, said you have experience with this type of business or just businesses in the
No,
past?
I have experience in
Package?
liquor business.
Yes, sir. And how do you conduct your training in your other facilities?
I can scan ID in a system, and I ask everybody IDs, doesn't matter how old they are.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
I'm not selling under 21 people.
Yes, sir. Now, where do you have any businesses or facilities that, with your experience in Douglasville or Douglas County or other communities?
It's in Douglas County.
In Douglas County. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Coach Watts.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Couple questions. The location of this building, is that in the city or the county?
Is in a city.
It is in the city.
So the county is currently a dry county. So all of the, and please correct me if I'm incorrect, so liquor applications will come to the city, correct?
So this location.
The applications for.
package stores.
Package stores will, their application will come to the city because the county is dry. Yes. That is correct.
But they have them at their gas
So this is in the city?
Yeah, but just a true package store, right.
It's in the city.
Yeah, so they have beer and wine at gas stations, but not package stores.
So this is in the city?
Yeah, so they have beer and wine at gas stations, but not package stores. Yeah, so they have beer and wine at gas stations, but not package stores. Yeah, so they have beer and wine at gas stations, but not package stores.
Okay. I guess it looks like, and I have not had a chance to look at this location yet. I will over the weekend, but the entryway, is described as rather narrow, and how to get in and out. The entryway is from the rear, and you have to go around the side to get to the front. Is that the correct building? Does anybody know? Yes? Okay. And just out of curiosity, that building looks like it's kind of in rough shape. What type of renovations do you have plans for, or do you have plans for any kind of renovations for this particular building?
So, sorry?
Fixing it up, do we have somebody else that's going to come down? I guess I'm trying to figure out, based on what I do know about this building, is it going to need a lot of repairs to be able to meet codes and things like that to be able to even open it? Mr. Fowler, do you have any information on that?
I didn't realize these would be questions. I apologize, or I certainly would have prepared for that.
I guess I've seen pictures of the building. I have not been to the site, and I'm just was wondering about the condition of the building.
It will be under lease, and I've just been assured that the owner of the building is going to fix it up so that it will be appropriate for this use.
Okay.
So
Mr.
you're
Chairman,
saying-
that's all I have for right now.
Okay, so Mr. Fowler, you're saying the landlord the community need a lift, so the landlord gonna spruce it up?
Yes, sir, that's what I understand from speaking with Sam a moment ago.
I guess, Mr. Chairman, I'll just throw this out there. It just seems premature to grant this liquor license when there seems to be a lot of work there. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
Perhaps it'd be appropriate, Mr. Chairman, if I can investigate that tomorrow and report to city manager and let them know precisely what's
Right, before we
proposed for
have our
that.
public hearing, and if city attorney, can you verify that located is in the city location?
Yes, we can verify that. We'll find out. I'm assuming it is because he filed his application here, but we'll find that out, Mr. Chairman.
I will, thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I was able to verify that while we were talking, and it is located in city limits.
Yeah, it's already been verified. It's in the
Okay,
city.
thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I did have a couple of more questions.
Okay.
I know Attorney Fowler's going to look over the weekend. We do have it finally got loaded up, where it says it's single lane access only and does not meet police or fire standards. And it's abandoned in disrepair and only has 2 designated parking spaces.
Well, it sounds like we need to do a little more research.
Yes,
I will
sir.
try to do that within the next 24 hours and get back to
Oh,
you.
it's 2 handicap, I apologize. 2 handicap parking spaces and driveway entrances and, yeah, there are. It says 2 the location is underparked with only 2 designated parking spaces. That's what it says here, but it must mean 2 handicap or,
We'll check it.
but, okay, so anyway,
And if we have to ask for a tabling, I'll let you know. If
Yes,
it
sir.
appears to be unsuitable, it may be unsuitable for this use, but we'll find out. I'm sorry I
Yes,
didn't
sir.
know that tonight.
Please
thank
do,
you so much. We're not trying to beat you up, we just want to make certain that it's a suitable site for you to do what you would like to do. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
At this time, I will open up the floor for public hearing. You have 5 minutes to speak for this application, 5 minutes to speak against this application. At this time, the floor is open. Against or for? Thank you.
Cindy Welch, 3002 Concord Way. There's not a map or a survey, is it at the corner of 92 and Van Sant Road? So they could have access to both roads?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and Highway 92 is a state highway, so they're going to have to be sure to get Georgia DOT permission for driveway onto that road.
There's a retaining wall right there.
What?
A retaining wall.
So they won't be
You could
coming
get-
off of 92 at all?
No.
Okay. And then if they come out on Van Sant, because it's right at the corner, is it going to be a right turn only? That's something that your DOT department needs to think about, because if it's right at the corner and they're going to think they're going to make left turns, that's going to be a problem.
Right. I think, well, just a few moments ago, his attorney stated that he's going to do some research, so I'm sure he will research all of that as well. Thank you for bringing that to the attention.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and
Good
Council. I'm
evening,
Larry Tony,
Mr. Tony.
and I live at 1203 Haven Circle, and I'm in Douglasville. I guess the thing I hate the most about this is I'm supposed to have lunch with Joe on Tuesday, so this is probably going to end that. No, I'm just playing with you. I go by this, I only live about a quarter mile from this location, and I go by there quite frequently. This place is an eyesore, much less a package store, guys. And when I learned that it was that the application was in for it, I went and I took pictures. You probably have some of those pictures. This place is in disrepair. It's terrible. I think this fellow's just renting a space in there. He has no means to fix anything. Madam Mayor, as you said, it's got the small access around the side. No fire marshal would approve anything like that for fire equipment. I think if the police weighed in on it, they'd probably say the same thing. Heaven forbid anything could happen, but with that big wall in front, somebody could go down for a bottle of wine and not go home. It'd be just terrible. Yeah. So my purpose tonight is to talk in opposition about this and ask you guys to deny this permit. The building is abandoned and in complete disrepair. The location has only 2 designated parking spaces. I don't know about parking spaces. I mean, the parking spaces are for the whole building. So who knows what's there for clients? The entrance to the building is at the back of the building. How can that be? The access lane should be 2 lanes, 24 feet, and be able to pass 2 cars. It's not a serious location at all compared to similar package stores in the vicinity. I don't have any issues with the applicant that I know. That's your job to do it. I just think the location is a bad location, and that location should be denied. I thank you for your time, and I hope you'll vote to not deny that. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Okay, for those who want to speak for this application. Okay, since I'm going to close the public hearing since I see no takers, so we'll do some further investigation and come back on Monday. And
Those obvious are issues that need to be.
yeah, we're going to have, look into some further. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's move it right along to item D. Consider approval of an application for an open container day permit on Friday, October 6, 2023, from 6:30 to 9 p.m. on the plaza for Halloween tribute and bingo on the plaza. Ms. Jackson.
Thank you, Councilman Davis. Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Chelsea Jackson, 6695 Church Street. The City of Douglasville is requesting to enact this open container day on October 6th from 6:30 to 9 p.m. for its Halloween trivia and bingo night, and it'll be on O'Neill Plaza. As always, each downtown business will receive wristbands to hand out to customers who wish to take their beverage outside of the establishment that they were having it at during the proposed dates and the times on October 6th, 6:30 to 9 p.m. Each individual must display a wristband, and when they leave the establishment, they must have a plastic cup with their beverage inside.
This so all ages?
No, sir, only those that are 21. Well, the event is for all ages, but the entertainment district will only be for those individuals that are 21 and up.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, the tribute and bingo.
Yes, sir, that's all ages, family-friendly event.
Mayor and Council.
I'll just say I've been to bingo before, and it's a lot of fun, and Mrs. Estes is the bingo champion.
So was that out on the plaza?
Yes, sir, it was out on the plaza. We got dressed up for Halloween. It's really fun. The city does a great job with this.
Anyone else? Okay, I'd like to, Madam Mayor, put this on the consent agenda for Monday,
Okay,
if the council will, okay?
it looks
All right,
like it's
moving right
good.
along. Consider approval of application for an open container day permit on Saturday, November the 4th, from 5 to 9 p.m. across downtown Douglasville for the third annual Stranger Things Block Party event. Tell me a little bit about this Stranger Thing, what it consider.
Yes, sir. So on November 4th, my apologies, from 5 to 9 p.m., the city of Douglasville will have its annual Stranger Things event. This is the third time that we've had that event. It's pretty much a block party that is sprinkled throughout downtown Douglasville. So last year, they had a skating rink at the old precinct. They had entertainment on O'Neill Plaza. It went all the way down near Ace Hardware on Church Street as well. This year, we plan on moving it. It'll start on O'Neill Plaza, and it'll be a couple of things that'll be at the old precinct, and it'll move all the way down the street, Courthouse Square, because of course that's where the Hawkins Police Station was. So it'll just be sprawled all throughout downtown Douglasville. So the city staff is requesting to enact the entertainment district during this time.
So, other words, it'd be just moving all around, have you open container, skating, dancing, whatever, block party.
Yes, sir. Much like the Taste of Douglasville, how it's sprawled downtown Douglasville on Church Street, it'll be in different locations and it'll have different events throughout. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you already got with Chief Sparks,
Yes.
making sure the unbands and ones without unbands don't have a cup with alcohol.
Yes, sir. Deputy Chief is always good at sending us an email, letting everyone know what color the wristband is, and they usually have someone that's there. Actually, Deputy Chief was there last year, scouting out everyone.
5 to 9, okay.
I want to know who the deputy chief dressed up as.
The chief.
He wouldn't
Madam
leave his
Mayor?
vehicle, actually.
I do have a couple of questions. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Ms. Jackson. So we've changed the time, it's from 5 to 9. Is there anything that precedes the time during the day? Typically, we had it earlier.
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. This year, basically, so some of the events, for example, we had sidewalk chalk that glows in the dark, and it actually became kind of 3D. It looks
Yes.
better around that 5 to 9 time. Of course, the sun starts setting a little later. Of
Okay.
course, Stranger Things is a little scary as well.
Yeah.
So having a little bit going into that nighttime era, but stopping at that 9 p.m. cutoff calls for a better event, and we're hoping that we don't bump. Of course, throughout Metro Atlanta, there are a lot of Stranger Things Day events, so we're hoping to have people go to those events and then come out to Douglasville.
Okay.
So we did our research to ensure that we're not bumping into any of those other events throughout the Metro Atlanta area.
Yes, ma'am. Are you going to have the skating rink again?
We're looking for level ground for the skating rink, because if you were on the skating rink at the precinct building, I was there, I fell several times, so we're looking for
But you did a
level
great
ground.
job, you and Miss Allison.
Yes, just a little bit. I have a video I'll show you. I fell about 3 times.
So we're looking to have another site in the same
Yes.
area, but
Yes,
maybe not at the
ma'am.
precinct. Okay.
If we can find a level site that's safe and that people can skate for more than 30 seconds without falling.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
What time are we closing the streets off?
The streets for this, I would have to check that, Councilman Davis. Usually it's about an hour and a half before the event starts, but we'll make sure that we blast that out to all the downtown businesses and the residents at least 2 to 3 weeks prior to, and we'll let you all know as well.
Please let all of them know for dinner and all, the streets will be closed for Stranger Things, okay? Anyone else? Madam Mayor, I'd like to put this on the consent agenda for Monday.
It looks like it's okay, Councilman Davis.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Councilman Davis. We appreciate you doing those Public Safety Committee items, and Ms. Jackson. So we'll move on now to our next committee, which is Recreation, Culture, and Tourism Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Chris Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have one item tonight. Authorize the mayor to sign a memorandum of understanding between the City of Douglasville and the National Recreation and Park Association Incorporated to confirm approval of the terms governing the acceptance and use of a grant in the amount of $75,000 for Fowler Field Park trail improvements and construction of a rain garden. And Mr. Bass will handle this one.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Madam Mayor
Good
and members
evening,
of
Director
council.
Bass.
Chris Bass, 8830 Gurley Road, Parks and Recreation Director. I bring good news. We are the recipients of the $75,000 grant that will be used for the Fowler Field Rain Garden. So, yes, ma'am.
Was that,
This-
Mr. Bass, was that the one we were voting on?
Yes, sir. This is,
All right,
this is
thank
the
you.
one that we were voting on. So we will be sending out some information to the citizens. Attorney Jordan reminded me that the National Recreation Parks Association has asked that we do not disclose or make any public announcement yet. We did get approval to come tonight, but they're going to do an official press release along with the other grantees for this particular project. So we'll work with our Community Relations Department to thank our residents for their time and energy voting. I got a lot of messages asking when was the campaign going to end because there were constant reminders going out. So we're appreciative of everyone. So our community relations team did a great job, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Ms. Allison Parker for all her hard work putting this campaign together. She made it really easy for us, so we appreciate her for that. But in this agreement, it outlines all of the requirements. This is a non-matching grant. And we do have a certain time frame and when we'll have to have this project complete. So that is outlined in the agreement. And we'll be bringing the concept for this particular rainwater garden and trail improvement to you all for approval during the last round in October. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Yes.
Just a comment. You know, the marketing, I concur with my colleagues. So the message, morning, afternoon, night. I just want to say, you know what, really, either you saw it and said yes, 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 and that is great. I mean, you didn't have a choice. You had a choice, but it was a good choice. That's a great marketing tool. Whomever did that, I need to meet you. That was
Parker.
Allison. Awesome. Good job.
Mr. Bass, I know as competitive as you are, how many votes did we get, and how bad did we beat everybody else?
I'll tell you, we were ahead. So the top three agencies won the award, the $75,000, and we came in second. We were 5,500 votes above a third. So, yeah. And we were 13,000 behind first. So we had some heavy hitters. City of Atlanta was also an agency that put in for this project. Not sure who won, but I do know we were one of the recipients.
I know we'll put it to good use.
Right.
That's it.
Right, exactly.
Fowler Field, this is going to really benefit that field, and it's getting a lot of use here lately with the football down there, but I'm looking forward to seeing what this money will do for that park.
Yes.
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Will it help with the drainage issues?
Yes, ma'am. So the rainwater garden is a great solution for us to be able to keep some dry fields while holding that rainwater. So we'll have an in-depth overview of how that process works, but we are confident that this will be a great solution to our challenge with drainage. We talked with WSA. We had our architects and civil engineers come out, and there are some challenges with trying to raise it. So this is a natural way for us to be able to hold some of that water and keep some dry fields.
Okay, great. And will it impede, I know this is forecasting down the road, but will it impede Chapel Hill? I know one of the, with the golf course, it goes across, doesn't it go in that area as well?
Yes,
Near
ma'am.
Fowler Field?
So it won't create any challenges. The good thing, and I give Mr. Thompson kudos for this, when these plans are reviewed, they also have to be signed off by WSA for that very reason. So
Okay.
this won't impact that operation any, and WSA will have to sign off on anything before we start construction.
Very good. And it won't impede the new work that we've done at Fowler Field with the awning and all of that?
Not at all.
With the new playground system? Okay.
Not at all.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I have one other question.
Yes, ma'am.
Since we have Mr. Bass here, and this is not pertaining to this item, but the new sign for Willing Workers Park that lists the board members, do you have a date of when that may be?
Yes, ma'am. So our MDP program created a new butterfly garden over in Willing Workers as their
Yes.
final project, and that sign is actually sitting outside. If you remember, the sign that used to sit in front of what we call Keith Garden.
Yes.
So now that area has coined that name along with that MDP project, and we placed a new sign in front of that garden.
So I drove there, and when you, like, coming off of Upshaw, turning into the park in the first entrance, I see the sign, but I didn't see like a butterfly garden, unless I'm just missing it. So
Yeah, it's right. It's off to the side, almost where the walking trail that goes through the woods is.
Okay.
It's sitting on that side.
So it's not really at the front?
Right. Yes, ma'am. It's
Gotcha.
not at the front like it used to be.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bass. Just one last question. The $75,000, we don't have to match it?
Non-matching at all.
Okay,
No, sir.
good.
Yep.
All right, Madam Mayor, if we don't have any other questions, I would like to place this on the consent agenda for Monday. All right, thank you, Mr. Bass. Madam Mayor, that's all I had tonight in Recreation, Culture, and Tourism.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. And Mr. Bass, Director Bass. We'll move on to Technology Committee. That's chaired by Mayor Pro Tem City Councilmember Terry Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There's no business under the Technology Committee at this time.
Thank you, sir. Transportation Committee is chaired by Councilmember Dr. LaShawn Verdanley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business under transportation tonight.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Yes, ma'am. Do we have any other business to come before council tonight? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you,
Councilmember-
Madam Mayor.
Yes.
I have a question for my council members here in regarding the way that we handle the applications for the entertainment district, especially when those applications are coming from the city. Do you guys feel that that's really necessary, that the city applies to do that, knowing that, I mean, it's coming from the city? These are the folks that are in here when we're creating the ordinance. They know exactly how it works. They host these events on an annual basis, most of them. We know that we've not had any issues with them. Well, I think it's important that we're aware of the events, and it's important that we're also there. It just kind of feels like we're belaboring.
It sounds like a good question for our counselor
Yeah, that's-
to
I have to
answer,
say
whether or
with
not
an
we can handle
attorney.
that administratively.
I'll have to look at the ordinance. It may not set an exemption for the city, as I assume one would do.
Yeah, I thank you, Attorney Joel. I think that's a great idea, Councilwoman Miller. It may be that if alcohol is being served, that the application needs to go through, and of course, we announce it. Whatever event we have, we announce it so that our citizens will know. But looking into it is great. I would not want to eliminate it coming before council so that it's announced, but whatever we can make easier for the process, I'm open once we do the appropriate research.
And we may have to abide by our own laws or rules, and that's why we bring it to ourselves to be seen. But City Manager, looks like you want to say something.
You all are applying for your own permit. That's essentially what you're doing. I mean, you don't have to do that. Typically, for routine events, most local governments, this is just a part of what they do. I would suggest if you want to make a change, I mean, if it's something routine, if you know that you've done it, you leave it as is and staff makes an announcement. If it's something that's new, then staff can come in and establish that this is going to request that you all resolve that you would provide this as a component of the event. But essentially what you're doing is you're applying for your own permit.
Okay. So,
I
Thank
like
you
it
for that.
because it puts everybody on notice, and the chief and everybody that's involved be looking forward to getting that notice.
So we have mixed reviews. We'll just see what the recommendation is from staff. And Councilman Davis, this is your committee, and you want us to come forward, so maybe if the announcements are done, that will give people an alert that something is happening. But it's your recommendation. We'll see what the staff gives to you and what you bring back to the council. But thank you so much, Councilmember Miller, for bringing that issue to the forefront. I did want to, before we moved on, congratulate our HR department. I know Ms. Austin Being is gone now, but they were awarded the Healthiest Employer Award from the Atlanta Business Chronicle. The city of Douglasville was #1 for the Healthiest Employer Award for medium-sized cities in the state of Georgia. So we want to congratulate her for that. And again, Mr. Bass is getting ready to go to the National Conference for Parks and Recreations across the country because the city of Douglasville is #1 park system in the state of Georgia. And now we're going to the national in Dallas, correct? Yes, next week. Okay. So congratulations to our staff. Their hard work really pays off and it's being noticed, so we appreciate that. Any other business? Yes, sir, Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I want to give a plug out to our very own Douglasville Community Theater, which will be having a production next month of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. It'll be
Can't
on
wait.
October 20th, 21st, and 22nd. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There'll be one show on the 20th, 2 shows on the Saturday, and 1 show on Sunday.
Beautiful.
So it's going to be a really good production, and I think everybody should be looking forward to that.
You're not telling us where, but
Oh,
I
I'm
know
sorry, it's
that-
at For Your Occasions.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and down on Veterans Memorial.
Yes, sir, for your occasions. Guess who's coming to dinner? It's going to be great.
It is a classic.
Yes, it is.
And still as appropriate today as it was 40, 50 years ago.
I know, Spencer Tracy, Sidney Portier, and, I can't think of the lady.
I know you know.
Anyway, okay. Any other? Catherine Hepburn. Come on now, Mr. Dodson. There you go. I was trying to think of her.
You couldn't get any of them.
You couldn't get any of them. They're in the heaven. Okay, any other comments, any other business to come before us? Okay, I don't see any. Then we will go to updates from our city staff. Our city attorney, Mr. Dodson.
No business.
Thank you, sir. Our staff attorney, Ms. Miranda Jordan.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Our police department deputy chief.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much. Our city manager, Ms. Hampton.
Yes, ma'am. Just an announcement. Last week, I was appointed chair of the Georgia Municipal Employees Benefit System for GMEBS for the next 2 years, so.
Congratulations, Ms. Hampton.
So,
Every time you try to get out, they pull you back in. You keep
hey, it's a
getting these
big deal. It protects our pensions and our retirement,
I
so
know
it's
that's
a big
right.
deal.
Thank you.
But yeah, so for the next 2 years, I will be president of that board, and that also includes not only our retirement benefits, but also risk management and GERMA as well, so.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then lastly, do not forget you have another executive session.
Yes, ma'am, we see it on the agenda.
And no committee meetings on Monday.
No committee meetings on Monday.
No, ma'am.
Woo-hoo!
There you go.
That's true. Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Hampton. Now we'll go with comments from citizens and delegates. If you sustain the meeting and you'd like to speak to us, please come forward, and you have 5 minutes to talk to us about any business that is germane to the city of Douglasville.
Good
Yes,
evening.
sir, Mr. Siegel?
Still Richard Siegel, 9905 Ashford Greenway.
Yes, sir.
The comment that, the question raised by Councilwoman Miller was the exact same one that occurred to me when I looked at the agenda on Tuesday. And I've got a little more information on this because, as you may remember, at the time the Entertainment District was created, I was the chairman of the Economic Development Committee, and I actually led the effort on the creation of the ordinance, along with many of you, as well as many of our downtown restaurants and city staff. And there was one revision that was put in there after the ordinance was adopted, and that is the city manager has the authority to approve any application. None of them have to come before you. That was intended as for an emergency measure, if there wasn't time to get it to the council. But the authority is already there to skip the council, so it's really not a matter of amending the ordinance. It's the council's will. It's a policy question, and it's not an ordinance change necessary. And the way I remembered, I'm going to defer to legal counsel on that because I'm not an attorney. But just wanted to make sure that y'all had that little bit of information in there. So y'all decide what your policy should be and take it from there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Siegel. Any other comments? Yes, sir. Mr. Harris?
Hi, everybody doing? My name
Good
is
evening.
Kelvin Harris.
Yes, sir.
I want to talk about item number 23-332.
Which committee is it
That-
under?
That was an item number that was voted down. And I looked around, and it was brought right back up. I'm very disappointed. And I'm going to have to say this again. I'm disappointed because all the good news is always on this side of the track. That's a problem. 2.79 acres was voted down in here. It was brought right back the next week. We wasn't notified, but I give Mr. Wall a hand. I get received about 60 emails about Fowler Park to register to vote. I don't know what more to say, but I'm just going to come straight cut to the front. I'm tired of y'all bamboozling the north side of the track. Y'all just stepping all over us. No respect. It's no respect no which way, form, fashion. Let me give y'all some figures, and I'm gonna give you some numbers. Public hearing, item number 23-313. Public hearing, 23-353. Public hearing, 23-354. Public hearing, 23-315. Public hearing, 23-305, 23-081, Slater Mill Road. It's on that side. Item number 23-220, Bright Star on that side. Item number 23-161, Hospital Drive on that side. Item number 23-245, Concourse Parkway. Item number 23-299 is on that side. On the agenda tonight, item number 23-379, Church Street, all had public hearing. But when it comes to the north side of the track, we get disrespected. Perfect example, 23-283, no public hearing, no respect. And y'all act like we supposed to accept this. And you know what the bad part about it? The contractors come back and tell y'all, they'll sue y'all. Sue the city of Douglasville. And y'all come back and vote yes. I got a problem with that. The problem I have, if you're not gonna fight for me, resign. I pay taxes just like everybody else. The community came up here and we spoke. We asked and we pleaded with y'all. The first one slid by the wayside because the contractor wiggled their way around. But that second one, it shouldn't have passed because it was voted down. And for whoever brought it back that next week and y'all voted yes, I have a problem with that. As a citizen, a taxpayer, and a hard-working, I would like for now on for every vote to be put up on the screen where we can see who vote for what or where. And the reason I'm saying this, Mayor, I'm talking to you because the first one that went through.
Okay, we're not going to do personal attacks. So let
It's
me
not
just-
personal, Mayor. I'm talking to you because you're the chairperson of this. I don't want to talk to nobody else. You're the chair. I'm being respectful. But you got to understand how I feel
Okay, I understand.
about
Let me-
something that was voted down and was brought right back
Okay, I
without
just-
our knowledge.
So, Mr. Harris, I'm going to stop you for 1 second. In the best interest of the community and of the north side and the entire city, we're trying to save you money. The citizens did come and speak, and the council voted their conscience. We really did not have a legal standing to vote no on that project because it met all the requirements. In lieu of not being sued for $10 million that would raise your taxes, we had to bring it back on the agenda. That's why it was brought back. So it
We
wasn't a threat.
notified? We couldn't have been
It
notified?
doesn't have to go before the citizens if it's a legal matter. So it did come back to you. It was on the agenda. It wasn't like it was done in the dark. It came back on the agenda, but it was done for legal purposes. So if you want us to just go to court and lose and have to pay out $10 million for a measure that was not legally standing, that's what we had to do. So that's why that came back, because it wasn't a threat. It It was a promise.
Okay, let me
So
ask you
it was
something, Judge.
illegal for us to do it in the first place, to vote something down that was, met all the requirements for the city. So that's what happened with that situation.
Disagree with you, but
I'm not just, it's not, I'm talking to you
I'ma
about
accept
facts.
that.
It's not feelings.
I'ma
I'm telling you
accept that
facts.
From you. But once something is voted up, or either voted down, that's a vote. If they voted no, no is a no. If we're gonna continue to get accused and get threatened by suits, don't vote.
There's an appeal system as well. So whether you vote yes or no, if a personal property right or someone takes it to court and appeal and the judge overturns it, that's what it is.
Next question.
All right. That's your 5 minutes.
Change is coming.
Thank you. Any other comments from citizens and delegates? You can come forward and you have 5 minutes to speak to us. Yes, sir. Mr. Dean? Okay. Yes, sir.
Right venue for it. John Dean, 6417 Strickland Street.
Yes, sir.
And I would like to publicly thank the, you, Mayor, the council, city manager, Mr. Roberts, for addressing the issues that are being brought to you for Ward 3. Most recently, the neighborhood signs, Mrs. Dr. Berdanley, that you helped us with. You set up the captains, 7 or 8 captains in the ward, each with the responsibility to discuss the opportunities that have been brought up. The first one that we brought up was around this signage, and those have started to be put up in the ward. Mr. Roberts and Todd actually came out to my residence last week. The next morning, 2 of them were posted. The next one is going to go up in the next week or so. And out of all of the issues that I have ever emailed, there's a track record, all of you all know. 100% of them have been acknowledged, and I appreciate it. The response was not always what I wanted to hear, but I do know that some of those requests that were made were over and above what you could do. So thanks to, again, the city manager, mayor, council, again, Mr. Roberts, for the effective job that you're doing.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dean.
Madam Mayor, I have a comment.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much, Mr. Dean. Mr. Dean is our neighborhood captain for Strickland Street, and thank you, Mr. Roberts, Karen Callan, and all of our staff that work so diligently. Actually, in Ward 3, this is the first time that we've had neighborhood watch signs. So the first did go up on Strickland, the second will go up at Gateway Village, and we have other subdivisions where we have neighborhood watch signs. So we're very excited. We hope that we will grow. We know that we'll grow this, and we're really excited. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Berdanley. Any other business to come before any other citizens? Okay. If not, then we don't have any other citizens' comments. I will make a motion for us to adjourn into executive session to discuss. I'm trying to see what my thing says, because it's not on my paper. Oh. To adjourn into executive session to discuss a property acquisition. Make a motion. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Estes. We have any questions or comments? All those in favor of adjourning to executive session after a short recess to discuss a property acquisition, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. We are adjourned into executive session after a short recess to discuss a property acquisition.